going on? Legion Nuta here, playing more Brighter Shores, and today we're going to be killing the Snap Carnivorous plants. So, a couple things. They have 1310 HP, they're giving us 11,629 XP per kill. They're going to attack with Obrare, immune to Obrare, and vulnerable to Carnage. They're level 121, we are currently level 123. They are going to be dropping some regions, and they're not worth that much. I believe that they're worth about 500 copper each. I'm going to be picking them up for the purposes of this video, as we are trying to see the loot as of what you would get if you killed 100. So they give us 5% knowledge XP per kill. We're starting the video with 6 gold, 381 silver. As we discuss in every one of our videos, you can use your quartermaster spell to send your gear to the bank to prolong your troops, and as you just seen there, they drop 5 silver per kill, which is actually quite good, but it's not going to be every kill, which is still really good. I think that's going to be the main source, as well as the gear from these kills. So these are located at the overgrown fields, which, if you don't know how to get there from the portal stone, you're just going to run down here, follow the waterfront, and make your way past the overgrown pond, past the rubber road, and you'll find yourself at the overgrown field. So, other things worth noting is that they are incredibly strong. I've got decent gear, but they will hit you and they can kill you. We try to use our range before attacking them because they're so incredibly strong. And other things worth noting is, like I said, you probably want to use your range attack. And other things that are worth noting, which I've noticed, is when you look at this combat tree, right, the creatures that you can kill, the next one is going to be the foraging ghoul, but it's 8 levels away, so it's quite crazy. And the next one after that is a disreputable outlaw, and then the naughty goblin and the shambling bear. But look at the difference in levels here. When you look at the past content, you had something to kill relatively quickly after each level, and they sort of just like missed a huge gap, right? So it's not really bridging. So now it's unfortunate I'm going to have to kill such a large number of these creatures just to sort of progress to the next tier. And it just continues like that on and on. I suppose it sort of stops right around here, right? You can see where you have a little bit more of a variety, but there's just going to be this like rough patch right here where it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But anyway, we're going to keep going and show you the loot from 100 carnivorous plants, and that's pretty much what it's about. So anyway, here's the loot from 100 snap carnivorous plants. So we just finished killing 100 snap carnivorous plants, and we got 204 silver just from killing the creatures, and we're quite excited actually because you aren't seeing it yet, but we're just about to go over all the drops that we got. I got to sell these first. As we already know, this is probably only going to be about 14 silver, right? So that's the goal right now, is just to see how much we're going to be getting just from these. So I don't even know why I did that, so hold on. Basically, we're going to sell these 13 silver, 800 copper. So it's essentially not very good. But here comes the good part, and the one we've been excited about, as I didn't want to equip this stuff just because I felt like I'd have to take it off. So we didn't do that. And let's go ahead and take a look at the gear that we got. So now let's take a look at the armor. I had quite a mishap there. I accidentally banged on my armor, and then I kind of got lost and confused. So anyway, let's go ahead and discuss the drops we got. Alright, so we got this, which was just absolutely incredible. An epic chainmail torso valued at 182 silver, and we got these plate legs valued only at 60 silver, but both are going to be significant upgrades, and we're going to equip those right now. I'm excited about it. Look at that, that's crazy, almost double the stats. So about like 70% upgrade. It's incredible. And then we've got another one here, which was the plate legs, which is not as much of an upgrade, but still about like what, about 15% upgrade. Still incredible. So now we're not going to make that, what was it, like almost 240 silver, but technically they're still worth about like what, about 130? This is like 140. So yes, we're not going to get it, but you're going to need upgrades in the game, so it's going to happen. But yeah, still worth quite a bit. Let's go ahead and sell all this, and I could keep this too, potentially if they allow player trading soon, somebody else might want this and it could be incredibly valuable to them. But anyway, we're going to set it 262 silver, 307 copper, and let's grab the rest out. Those are the two most significant drops, right? Those two upgrades I put on my character. I actually believe I even got one more upgrade, which I'm going to discuss in one moment here. And I just did it again. I clicked equip. I wish it wouldn't do that. I wish it would prompt you and say, are you absolutely sure you want to take your armor off, as it's going to be a little bit confusing, right? In case you potentially were going to sell your items, then you might sell something that you have on. The only thing I would suggest is if you do it in a Carnivorous, then it would actually let you buy back your items, which could save you from that. But we don't really sell our items in Carnivorous. I believe it was this that I changed out. Yes, that was that. Okay. So the last upgrade I want to talk before I sell these is going to be these. I got these rare throwing axes there, level 121. And that was a huge upgrade as well over these right here. The epic throwing rings. So anyway, let's go ahead and sell this and then see what we get. And it's 112 silver just for those throwing rings. So give or take, right? Because technically it is an epic and it's pretty powerful, so you might not get 112 silver if you were to get another item relative, because we're upgrading. So regardless, 233 silver, but we could check the value of the ring or the throwing axes just to kind of see. So it's only 60 silver, but technically maybe you've already got some of the gear, so you could say that the upgrades, maybe you would have been able to sell one of them. I'm not sure. So, but then this is 100 kills, and you may get a little bit different. Maybe you'll get a little bit better, right? You might get better drops. So anyway, finally, 7 gold, 94 silver. So with a grand total of profit of 713 silver from 100. So even if you took away about like 50 silver, maybe even 100 silver, for the fact that I did make some upgrades, so those new items weren't worth as much as the other ones would have been, you're still looking at potentially 600 silver for 100 kills. And I will say these take quite a bit of time to kill, but as you progress through your combat and you get further into the game, like, you could come back and kill these and they would still prove to be a pretty good profit. So anyway guys, that's loot from 100 kills.